right, great rise in the moonlight, beloveds. You know who this is. You know what it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. There we go, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and it is Melanated Monday. So you all come on in here and get yourself prepared with something to take notes with, please and thank you. Um, this is the first part, or will be the first part of a series. How many are coming after this? I don't know. But just know this is just the first part. This would actually fall under last week's topic of what you should know. So this is kind of still part of that, but just now I'm taking it to a whole different level. And you know I do it because I'm being divinely instructed to do it. So hopefully you all will come on in here and get this information and pay attention and take note, learn, be edified, and share, rinse, and repeat. Okay. If you have not already done so, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment on my YouTube channel, which is Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. Goddess is spelled God is Godis. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Um, y'all come on in. I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I don't know like how long it takes you all to actually get the notification that I'm live. I'm only a minute over, but I'm here. So watch your clock. When 7 o'clock hits, I'm live every Monday. Miss Carla, the first one. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you so much for being here and on time and faithful and committed and dedicated and loving and all of that. You are so appreciated for everything that you do just because you want to. So much love and respect to you, beloved. Always. Y'all don't know who I'm talking about, but one day you shall. Miss Carla been with me for a little while now, so I'm gonna have to start doing some things with you all who are faithful watchers. I appreciate that, and you will most definitely be rewarded on a whole other level that has nothing to do with me. Those who follow and listen, take heed. This is on some real spiritual stuff, right? I tell you every time I come on here that I'm divinely moved to talk about the things that I talk about. The information that gets presented is for a reason. It's not just because I just want to talk about it, unless I say that. Most of the time, it is because the message must be given at the time that I'm giving it, and it must be given the way that I'm giving it. And to those of you who are brave enough, I guess, to receive it and receive it loyally, I appreciate you. And again, you will most definitely benefit from the information if you apply it. I've been doing this for 7 years. It's going on my 8th year now. I don't know how long I'm going to be instructed to do this here, but as long as I am, I'm going to give it to you the way you need to get it. Okay. It's always out of love. So we're going to start in a few minutes. Tonight's subject or the title is The Illusion of Truth. Again, it is the first part of a series. I hope you all have something that you can take note with. I see someone else came in. Please let yourself be known so I can address you properly. Please take notes. Share the video. You can share it while it's live or share it afterwards, but share the video. This information is very important to us. Okay. It may not seem as if it is for tonight's conversation, but I promise you it is. Okay. Again, this will just be the beginning. This is just the first of however many will come after this. So tonight's title is The Illusion of Truth. I'm going to give one more minute and then I'm going to just start with whoever is here and other people can catch up when they get here. So, again, take note. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do so. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate on YouTube. Goddess is spelled God is Godis. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, those who come in will just fall in where they are, and I will repeat as necessary. I want to start this off with definitions, and I do that every now and again because you got to know what it is I'm talking about. You got to have an understanding of what it is I'm talking about. So the first thing I want to bring to your attention is the word citizen. This is what this is all about today. Okay, the word citizen. We've grown up with it. We hear it all the time. We see it on applications. We always check, yes, we are that. There's no second thought about it. You see it, you know that it applies to you. If you're not from a different country, you didn't have to show a green card or whatever to get in here, then it is assumed that you are indeed a U.S. citizen. So what I'm going to do today is give you the information to make sure that you are. Don't go away, okay? Because this is not what it sounds like, okay? It's not what it sounds like. I know people gonna come in here, I'm a citizen. Trust me, you do. Okay, so let me give you the definition. First of all, what is it? What is a citizen? A citizen is a legally recognized. The second definition for that is an inhabitant of a particular town or city, a resident or freeman, a free man. Okay, a free man. Free man is described as a person who is entitled to full political and civil rights. I'm going to read those again. Okay. It is important that you get what I'm saying. If you get stumped in the beginning, the rest is going to go completely over your head. Again, I'm going to read these definitions of what a citizen is. And this is according to law. Okay. It is a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. It is an inhabitant of a particular town or city, a resident or freeman, a free man. A free man or freeman is a person who is entitled to full political and civil rights. Hopefully, some of those words have stuck in your head. What's going on, family? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. I'll do it one more time. Well, I'll do it. I'll do it one more time, and then we're gonna keep it moving. The definition of a citizen, one more time at this point: a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized, an inhabitant of a particular town or city, resident or freeman, a free man. A free man or freeman is a person who is entitled to full rights. Every time I talk about something of major importance, there tends to be a temporary technical difficulty. So hopefully you all still were able to get all of that. A freeman is a person who is entitled to full political and civil rights. Okay, so some other words stood out in there that have to be overstood what they mean. Okay, the next one would be person. How is the word person defined according to law? And I'm stating that because like we consider ourselves to be people. One individual people would be a person. This is how we understand, and I'm saying understand the terms because we've always heard them, we've always used them in the same way. You have to understand that the language we know has more than one meaning and is for a very particular reason. So, according to law, a person, first of all, according to law, person has never been synonymous with human. According to law, person has never been synonymous with human. Non-human entities or corporations are legal persons. What's going on, Felicia? Thank you, loved one. Felicia, I'm sorry. Thank you for being here, darling. I appreciate you, love. Again, person defined according to law, first of all, has never been synonymous with human. Non-human entities, would be corporations, are legal persons. Keep this in mind. Black's Law Dictionary defines it as any being whom the law regards as capable of rights or duties. So Black's Law Dictionary is like the dictionary of dictionaries when it comes down to legal terminology of any word. Make sure you get a copy. There's so many editions of it, it's ridiculous. I think the most recent edition, I know it's over $100. It might be like $130. But if you are in a position where you can get it, I would advise you to get it. What's going on, T Harp? Thank you, loved one. Greetings. Appreciate you for being here. I'm going to go back over all of these things because it is vital that you understand what is being said, why it's being said, and how these things are affecting us. Okay. So again, according to Black's Law, the word person is defined as any being whom the law regards as capable of rights or duties. A corporation treated as a corporation treated as having the rights and obligations of a human being. Why are we talking about this? Okay, so I think last week or at some point I made mention to you all, or I asked you a question as far as your mail or anything that is addressed to you, be it come to your home. Well, most of the time it comes to your home. Okay, be it a bill, an invoice or whatever, a letter from anybody. When you see the name on it that you recognize to be your own, it is always, yes, sir, it is always written in capital letters. As I stated, according to the law, person is defined as, first of all, it's never synonymous with human. Non-human entities, corporations are legal persons. I knew I turned that off. I'm so sorry. Let me do this real quick. I'm sorry for that. I just knew I turned that off. But anyway, persons has never been synonymous with human. Non-human entities, i.e. corporations, are legal persons. Black's Law defines it as any being whom the law regards as capable of rights and duties. A corporation treated as having the rights and obligations of a human being. So according to law, you, me, we, us, them, and they are categorized in more than one form. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into that today, but there is a physical us and there is a fictitious us. Okay, there is what we consider to be the human person, us, and the corporate entity, us. We are being addressed in both ways, but when you don't know which way you're actually being addressed, you can respond incorrectly. So, most of the time, we are being addressed as the corporation. What's going on, Deneen? Thank you, loved one, for being here. I appreciate you. We are being addressed as the corporation because everything comes to you with the name that you recognize as your own in all capital letters. That is an indication that a corporation is being addressed, a business is being addressed. A corporation is a business. A corporation is a business. A corporation deals with commerce. Commerce deals with a monetary exchange. There is business going on. Okay, I'm going to come back to all of that. We're going to also go back to the word naturalized, okay, because those two things have been put together. One can't happen without the other. So you hear people having to be naturalized. We normally hear that from what we know as the illegal immigrants or anybody that is an immigrant. They have to be naturalized into the United States in order to be considered a citizen. So let's define. Let's take a look into what this naturalized mean. What does it mean to be naturalized? Well, one who has gone through the process of citizenship by which the US granted lawful permanent resident after meeting requirements established by Congress in the Immigration and Nationality Act. I will repeat. What does it mean to be naturalized? It is one who has gone through the process of citizenship by which the United States granted lawful permanent resident after meeting requirements established by Congress in the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA. Okay. If you need me to go over this again before I move forward, let me know. Throw up a thumb, middle finger, or something. Let me know before I move forward because I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to go back. I know I am. So, but if you're good right now, we'll move forward. I appreciate you, T Harp. I do. Okay, so we're going to move forward. The second part is of what it means to be naturalized is to become or cause to become established as if native. To become or cause to become established as if native. Okay, to be made as if you belong here. Okay, this is where you've always been. You have the rights and duties and responsibilities, obligations, privileges, all of that. You have all of those as if you lived here, as if you were naturally from this place. You are an originator. You are originally from here. Okay, I'm stressing these things so you all get it. Devon, what's going on, loved one? Appreciate you for being here. Okay, moving forward. There is a process. There is a process of becoming a citizen, and there are 10 steps. And I want you all to just think when you became a part of this process. Think of the date that you became part of this process, and let me know when you can remember. Okay, so the first part of this is there has to be a determination that you are, to determine if you are already a citizen. Okay, and by that, it would either be by birth or by parents. So that's through your lineage, right? So if you were just born in the US, then you would assume that you are a citizen because you're born here. right? Or if your parents were born here, then it's assumed then that you also are a citizen because your parents were born here. So let's go back. Let me give you a little bit of something here. You have to consider lineage. Okay, you have to consider lineage. This is not just about you, individual. This goes back, it keeps going back, but we only think about what's happening to us right now. How are we right now as the one being that we know us to be, right? But everything has an original day. Everything begins before us. Everything has begun before us. So it deals with lineage. So through lineage, slaves, citizens, they were considered chattel, property, if you will, incapable of rights and obligations, duties, privileges. They were incapable of it, right? Let's go back. According to Black's law, a person is any being whom the law regards as capable of rights and duties. So that's a person. Um, a citizen, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. A citizen is a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, an inhabitant of a particular town or city, resident or freeman, free person who is entitled to full political and civil rights. Y'all put that together, please. Put it together. Through lineage, slaves were not considered citizens because they were not considered persons. They were considered chattel. They were considered property, meaning they were not considered to be capable of rights, obligations, duties, or privileges. Lineage. We come from this. We come from this. We come from this. Okay? Keep it in your mind. Next thing, number two, part of the process, there's 10 steps. So the second part is to determine the eligibility to become a citizen. This is done via a naturalization eligibility worksheet. It's called an M480 worksheet. You can look this up if you will. I didn't bother to print it off because why? But it's an M480 worksheet with a naturalization eligibility worksheet. You can look it up and see what's required on that. The third step is to prepare the form N400, the N4 naturalization. With that, as with everything else, there's a fee. So you have to prepare the form and send the fee. The fifth part is the biometrics. What is that? The biometrics, you have to make an appointment. So the biometrics basically is a big way of saying you got to get fingerprinted, or we got to see some part of your body that's going to let us know who you are. Something got to get scanned. We got to know. Okay. Most of the time, it's a fingerprint. So those are the biometrics. Sometimes it's applicable, sometimes it's not. But if it is, then you got to go get that done. I want you to pay attention. These are the steps, right? You got to know. So I want you to keep in your mind when these things occurred to you, when you went through this process. What's going on, G Walker? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So the sixth step of becoming a citizen is completing an interview. It's got to be an interview, right? Vision from the United States is the USCIS. I can't remember what it stood for right now. I'll think of it later. But anyway, the USCIS deals with immigration. You're going to be interviewed with them. Okay. You're going to receive a notice. This is the eighth part. Let's skip it. Then you receive a decision first from the USCIS. After the decision, then you receive a notice to take an oath of allegiance. Did you hear me? You take an oath of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to. Once you've gotten that notice, then you take the oath. That's the ninth step. The 10th step is basically just understanding that becoming a citizen is voluntary. This is something that you wanted to do. I'm going to repeat that. Becoming a citizen is voluntary. This is something that you wanted to do. I'm going to repeat that. Becoming a citizen is voluntary. It's something that you wanted to do. However, voluntary, the word voluntary, by law, indicates willfulness or intention. Willfulness or intention to become a citizen. You have to volunteer to do these things. You have to volunteer to take these 10 steps. Have any of you done these 10 steps? I'm just curious. Has anyone, show of hands, anybody gone through these 10 steps to become a citizen? No? Okay, I didn't think so. All right. So again, becoming a citizen is voluntary because it is willful. There's a willfulness and an intent. Now, correct me if I'm mistaken, because sometimes it happens. Slaves don't fall in the category of voluntary or willful or intentive anything. Huh? Okay. So they were not considered capable of rights or duties, which is the legal definition of person. Capable of rights or duties is part of the legal definition of person. You said, damn, I'm a legal immigrant. It's worse than that, cuz watch this. But yeah, I was like, if these are the steps, right? And none of us have taken these steps, and this deals with the lineage. Like, you got to go through the lineage. And based on the history that we know of our lineage, slaves were not considered persons in the first place, nor citizens. They were considered property. They were considered chattel, if you will, and incapable of rights, obligations, duties. Okay. Is this sinking in? Let it sink. Let it sink. We went back. I'm going to go back again. Corporation. The legal definition of a corporation: an organization formed with state governmental approval to act as, and hear the words now, to act as an didn't we just say that business deals, that corporation deals with business deals with commerce. This is the exchange of monetary energies, whatever that is. Okay, you got to keep these things in mind, and also remembering that every application that you apply for, every position that you apply for, and it asks you, are you a citizen of the United States or states? You must be a citizen of the United States. Thank you so much for that. You must be a citizen of the United States. And we naturally check yes every time without hesitation. We check yes. Why? Because we live here, we reside here, is that we are naturally citizens of this here country or corporation, if you will. We're going to get so deep into this. That's why this is a series. I got to bring you in a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Okay. So, with all of that, I got to go back because people are coming in. I got to go back. So I'm going to go back and then we're going to wrap this thing up a certain kind of way. So make sure you stay with me. Exactly. To say like the commercial driver versus natural traveler. Yes, indeed. I'm going to be talking about it. It's not right. Yes, indeed. I'm getting into it. There's a reason for all of this. Okay. It's a reason. So we're going to start from the beginning. I'm going to go through it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. You can post them, or if you want to call in with your question, comment, or concern. I want to get in and get out. We can make it brief. You can call in 770-906-5271. But hold on your calls for right now. But the number is 770-906-5271. So we're going to start from the beginning. I'm just going to go through it. We started with the definition of a citizen. Okay. A citizen is a legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. It is an inhabitant of a particular town or city, a resident or freeman, free man. A free man is a person who is entitled to full political and civil rights. A person is defined according to law. And keep this in mind, first of all, person has never, ever been synonymous with human. Non-human entities, corporations, are legal persons. Black's Law Dictionary defines person as any being whom the law regards as capable of rights and duties. A corporation treated as having rights and obligations of a human being. What does it mean to be naturalized? There are 10 steps. I'm just going to go through them. What's going on, Jennifer? Thanks for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. So, what does it mean to be naturalized? One who has gone through the process of citizenship by which the U.S. granted lawful permanent resident after meeting requirements established by Congress in the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA. What's going on, Broken Traditions? I thank you, love, for being here. Appreciate you. Okay. The second, to become or cause to become established as if native. To become or cause to become established as if native. The process steps. First is to determine if you are already a citizen. How would you know, or how would you think you know? So by birth, you are just born in the US. There's the assumption that you are a citizen because you're born here, or your parents were born here. If you were born someplace else, your parent was born here, so to assume that you are a citizen. The assumption. Again, at this point, you have to look at the lineage. You are not the end all, be all, or the beginning of anything. Okay? Before you, there was something and someone else. There's a bunch of them. Okay, a whole lot of history occurred before you, before us. So, considering the lineage, so through lineage, slaves, as we have been taught, were not considered as citizens. They were considered chattel, property, incapable of rights and obligations. Number two, one must determine eligibility to become a citizen via a form called the M480. This is a worksheet, a naturalization eligibility worksheet. I don't have one, but if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, look it up. It's an M480. The third is to prepare a form N400. This is the application for naturalization. And of course, with that, there is a fee. So you must also submit a fee with it. The fifth step is the biometrics. This is some type of body scan to make sure you are who you say you are. We can trace and track everything about you. This normally occurs by fingerprinting. So that's the easiest way, the most common way is via fingerprinting. Sixth step is to complete an interview. We want to have a little chat with you. We'll find out what's going on in your mind, how you feel, you're feeling, what kind of things do you believe in, what your traditions are, maybe what are your morals, what are your standards, that type of thing. We're going to interview you along with some other things. So that's the sixth part. The seventh step, receive a decision from the USCIS. Okay, that's the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. The eighth step is to receive a notice to take an oath of allegiance. You're going to get a notice that you have to take an oath of allegiance. We all know what allegiance is, right? That's who you're loyal to, who you with. Okay, we already know, right? Okay. The ninth step is to go ahead and take the oath. The 10th and final step is understanding U.S. citizenship. Understand what you just did. Understanding what all comes with that. Understanding the definition. It says understanding, understanding, to stand under. Okay, we're gonna talk about that real quick. Understanding what you just did. I'm gonna do it right now. Understanding means that you are standing under the authority of something else. So this is why I always tell you all that you need to get an overstanding and an understanding on things, so you don't be underneath nothing and nobody. Okay, overstand. But that's what this is. So understanding that becoming a citizen is voluntary. It's voluntary. So we move to the word voluntary. What does that mean? By law, voluntary indicates willfulness or intent. I mean, you're doing this because you know what you're doing. You have full disclosure. You are well informed. You have made a decision. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to allow yourself to be susceptible to, whatever. You're doing this. You have a sound mind. You are capable of making decisions. Okay. You're capable. It's voluntary. No one made you do it. Voluntary. So, with that being said, and going back through this lineage of ours, slaves did not fall into the category of anything relating to voluntary. Okay, they did not voluntarily become captive. They did not voluntarily get removed from their home and shipped elsewhere. That was not voluntary. Okay, there was some forcage, and I know that was a made up word, but there was some forcage going on. Okay, so again, they were not considered capable of rights or duties, which is the legal definition of a person. This is the legal definition of a person. A corporation, legal definition, is an organization formed with state governmental approval to act as an artificial person to carry on business. That is the definition of a corporation. Again, mail that comes to you is always written, typed in all capital letters. It is being addressed to a corporation. The letter that comes in the mail with the name that you recognize to be your own is not the human you, it's not the individual you, it is the corporate you. It's the business you. Okay. I'm gonna make note also here that you are not considered a citizen until you take the oath of allegiance at the ceremony. How many of us, with a show of hands, have gone through this step, have gone through these 10 steps and have taken the oath? How many can raise their hand and say, yes, I have done that. I am official. How many can say that? I'll wait. No one? Right. Okay. So what has happened here is that we have been lied to again, but it is presented. This is the illusion of the truth, right? Everything we apply for says that, or asks the question, are you a US citizen? We always check yes. Or something says you must be a US citizen. We say, well, no problem. I'm definitely a US citizen. I always have been. I was born here. I am definitely a US citizen. Okay. This is what we're used to. This is normal to us, right? So as far as we are concerned, before tonight, because now you all have been educated and are getting some overstanding, as far as we were concerned, we have always been citizens, and citizens have certain access to things and rights, correct? So, my question then would be, one of them would be, if we are indeed citizens, then why are we, us in particular, fighting against losing rights and privileges that are supposedly granted by government to its citizens? That's just one question. I want you to ponder that. How is that happening? And going back to becoming one being voluntary, here's my note here. I have a note here. We have been forced to leave the country in which we were citizens and into a country of war, persecution, and natural disaster. Let me read that again. We have been forced to leave the country in which we were citizens and into the country of war, persecution, and natural disaster. So let me go back to my previous note I have not read out loud. My previous note says this: a person who has been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster is considered something else. They're not considered a citizen, is not necessarily a person, doesn't matter if it's a human being, it can because it's not voluntary. This 10-step process was not taken. They have not participated in this process. The oath was not given. None of these things have occurred. So, what has happened, people? What we are, according to definition, is a person who has been forced to leave their country, our country, in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. But because we were forced to leave the country in which we were citizens and into a country of war, persecution, and natural disasters, that defines us as refugees. Woo! Did I get your attention? Refugees. Every time you check the box and say you are a citizen, you are lying. That is a lie. But it's presented as this is true. Because as a citizen, there are certain things that you are obligated to do, certain rights you're given. You have the right to be obligated. You have a right to be obligated. You are subjected to the laws of the land. You're subjected to these laws. You are obligated to these laws because you are a citizen of this land. So, because you keep saying that you are a citizen of this land, because that's what we wanted to do, we wanted to be inclusive, we wanted to be included in everything according to what the nations have. We want to be included. So here I go. We want to be included. So, because we want to be included in everything about the nations, we have made ourselves obligated to the system. We have made ourselves obligated to a system that we did not have to be part of. We were forced into something, forced into it. There were no rights given, there were no privileges given. You are forced to leave your home where you originated, to be grammatically correct. When you are forced to leave it, but then you're put into that same situation that you think you're running from by force in a different country, you're not a citizen of that country. You are a refugee. You are a refugee, not the Fugees, but the refugee, just the refugee. When an application comes up and that space is available, you might want to reconsider what you checking. That's all I'm saying. Every time we sign up for something, there are consequences that are not made specifically for us, but because, again, we want to be included. We want to be included in the wrath. We want to be included in the drama. We want to be included in everything that we were supposed to be excluded from because we were set apart from it. But we don't want to be set apart. We want to be a part of. Okay, then, since you want to be a part of, let me show you what's getting ready to happen. So let me bring the book out on you, okay? Shall I? Let me start. Deuteronomy 28. We're going to start at 21. I'm just going to be bouncing around, okay? I'm not going to read the whole book, but I'm going to read certain things in the book. So the first part says, Yah, which God makes the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. 24 says, Yah makes the rain of your land powder and dust. From the heavens it comes down on you until you are destroyed. 28 said, let me get my eyes together. Let me get my eyes together. You know, they getting kind of old. 28 says, Yah shall strike you with madness and blindness and bewilderment of heart, which is of mind. Come on now. 32. 32 says, Your sons and your daughters are given to another people, and your eyes look and fail for them all day, and your hands powerless. 36. Come on. Yah brings you and the sovereign whom you set over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, wood and stone. 37 says, Thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples to which Yah drives you. 41. You bring forth sons and daughters, but they are not with you, for they go into what? Captivity. What is that? Slavery. Is that voluntary or forced? It is forced. Moving on. 48. Come on, eyes, get it together. 48, Lord, help me out, help me out. You shall serve your enemies whom Yah sends against you in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in need of all, and he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. 49 says, Yah shall bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies. Now, okay, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose language you shall not understand. Come on now. Are you still with me? Did I lose anybody? Am I losing anybody? Right, I can't see. Let me put my light on, Lord. Shine a light on me. Because this right here. So we're going to move on to 64. 64 says, And Yah shall scatter you among all peoples from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. 65. And among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for your sole of your feet. But there Yah shall give you a trembling heart and failing eyes and sorrow of being. 66. And your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear night and day and not be certain of your life. 68 says, And Yah shall bring you back to Mitzrayim, as Egypt, in ships, by a way of which I said to you, you are never to see again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one to buy you. Am I lying here? Am I giving you some misinformation? Are you overstanding what's happening here? The Most High is trying still, in the midst of all of our wicked ways, our wicked mind, our stiff-neckedness, all of that, still trying to give us a way out. All we have to do is turn away from what we are used to, turn away from the system, turn away from the wickedness, turn away from the mind that we are in, and go back to what we know. We serving stuff we ain't got no business serving. We doing things we ain't got no business doing. We have connected ourselves to a system we ain't got no business being a part of. We are suffering the consequences of things and people and nations that were not meant for us. It wasn't meant for us because we were set apart from that. We were supposed to be the ambassadors to show people what God looks like in feminine and masculine human person being formed. But again, because we want to integrate, we want to be a part of that which we were separated from. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Everything you think you know about yourself is a lie. But it looked like the truth because you're used to it, because you're not looking for nothing else, because you're used to it, because it's convenient, because you're used to it, because that's what they said. Or did they say that? Or they allowed you to say it? See, that's the thing right there. They didn't say it. They allowed you to say it. They let you volunteer to say that. So if you volunteer to say that you are a part of something, then you have also volunteered to be held responsible and held accountable for all the things that are a part of that thing. Hello, somebody. If you would like to call at this point, you may call in 770-906-5271. Or if somebody wants to be pulled up on camera with me, you can do that as well. Just make the request. And I will pull you in and read these comments. G. Walker says, my people are wayward people who have turned their back against me. And the Lord says that a nation that turns away from him, then he shall turn away from them. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He said, you're right. Why does the right to vote have to be voted on every 25 years? What's going on? What's going on, G. Walker?
Boy, if I had a ring, I'll give it to you to ask you to walk down the aisle with me right now. I ain't even lying. I can grow 3 more feet. Wow. Wouldn't even be that much. But anyway, you are exactly right. Yes, I have nothing but love for you.
I appreciate your love.
24/7.
Love you back.
You are exactly right. My people who have turned my nation that turns themselves away from me, I should turn away from that nation.
Yep.
Not only will you turn away from that nation, you guess what? I'm going to name a couple of things that you're turning from.
Mm-hmm.
You're turning away from God's protection. You know what God's protection is? His grace and mercy.
Absolutely.
It's protecting from the wickedness, like you say, from the evil. The spirit is on me now. From all the debauchery, all the hatred. How about the self-hatred? They ain't got to do nothing to you because you're doing it to yourself. Because you don't value yourself. Right. You don't value because you're in a valueless system. There are 2 kinds of systems. There's a spiritual system, and then there's a governmental system. There's an operating system. The system that you're operating in is not the system that you should be operating, but God ain't gonna take no mess.
Right.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So you like you said, basically what you were saying is that you're gonna take the bad along with the good, not the good along with the bad. With God, you take the good along with the good. Absolutely. How about that? And you don't lose because God has never lost.
Right.
But outside, opposite with the world, you take the bad along with the bad. How about that?
Okay.
I wasn't gonna really call it. I had to though, because you stood on fire. I'm surprised you ain't got to get kicked out right now because it got to be a flame somewhere.
It might be
because you're on fire.
But I'm protected though.
Oh, absolutely. I ain't talking about from there. I'm talking about period by what you're saying.
Oh, no doubt. That's what I'm saying. I'm protected though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm protected.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. But also, I want to say that's from the physical aspect. Yes, you are actually to turn away. You give yourself to the wiles of the devil,
mm-hmm.
and the devil. You and I touched on that about a week or so ago. I wasn't going to surface, but here I am just for a minute. The bottom line is, all these people out here operating, including myself at sometimes here and there. The bottom line is, you're operating out of sequence. You're operating out of control.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are out of control. What you don't realize, what they don't know is because they don't know anything beyond the carnality, beyond the physical. They don't even know the physical. Because you knew the physical, then you would know how to be obedient. You know how to be. If you do, let me just say it like this: if you don't do the way God has prescribed for you to do it, then you're gonna have problems.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna have some heartache.
Every time.
You're gonna have some pain. You're gonna, you sit up here and suffer little children to come unto me. They say suffer little children to go back and get some more pain, but you're looking for that. But like you say, It's not corrupt. Corporate America is corrupt America.
Correct.
Yes, you understand what I'm saying? And it's like you say, unless you took those 10 steps, then you're exactly right. You are on point. I don't know how big the point is, but it might be as big as the one that's on target. But you are on point, and you would be like one of your sayings. You would be correct.
Okay. I appreciate you. I got
one more thing to say about the spiritual aspect, because that's the aspect that supersedes everything else. I know, I know what that your show is this and that, but I'm sorry. What you read out of Deuteronomy is you are on point.
Yes, sir.
You are absolutely right. It's not that people, I'm gonna say this real quick. Some people, it's the parables. Do you know what a parable is? Do you really know who you are? Right. You don't fully know who you are until you get to know God. You don't know what you are. You don't know where you are. God is your foundation. God is the one who made you, not Lexus, not Mercedes, not going along with the status quo. These other people, blah blah blah, because they'll failure.
Right.
And this system is failure. But what you do is what I've done years ago. I take from the system and I put it in the King. I take from the system and I put it towards an investment not made by man. Right. And that's why I'm still doing what I'm doing. You've been doing this a long time. You've been staying afloat. You've been on top a long time. You're doggone right, because I serve what's on top.
I know
now,
that's right.
See, being in the world is like a bottom feeder, like a flounder. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They bottom feeders, right?
Right.
And that's what you're talking to, bottom feeders.
Right.
That's what they're doing. They don't even, like you say, they're too blind to see.
Right.
And don't, like you say, be comfortable and let somebody else think for them. Let somebody else, because they got to use their molecules. People pass away, physically, but you might as well be passed away anyway, because you're passed by the library. That's the only. Think about it. That's the only building and monument that you can go by in any hood or neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, and not pay a thing.
Indeed.
But you pay everything by not going.
I know that's right.
I'm done with it.
Well, I appreciate you, honey. I'm
gonna drop the phone. I ain't got no phone with you right now. But I'm going to drop the phone out.
Okay.
You are on point.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Go back and read some more of these comments.
The
okay. I'll talk to you later, love. Thank you so much. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Deneen says it's like they are programming us to be what they want us to be, just as slavery. Absolutely. They've been doing it since forever. Since before you exited the womb. Yes, ma'am. It's always been that. The problem is, and people talk about how the system is broken, the system is this, that, and the other, system ain't working. Yeah, it is. System been working. System ain't broken. The people who believe the system ain't broken are broken. T. Harp says, thanks, Queen. Another great teaching. I got to go and have a good night. Peace. Thank you, loved one, for being here. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. But yeah, we're not doing our job, and we're being shown what's happening, but we can only see it with our carnal eyes. We are only looking at things the way that we are able to take them in, because once you start to see beyond your carnal eyes, then change is inevitable. Certain things are no longer going to be done the same way. Certain words are no longer going to be said. Certain sounds are no longer going to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And certain people you're no longer going to be around, and they ain't going to be wanting to be around you either. So what? You know what I'm saying? But change is inevitable. It's got to happen. We are being put in situations and circumstances where, again, the Most High is still giving us opportunities to get it right. We don't have to, and I keep saying this, I keep stressing it that way. We don't have to repeat history. We don't have to. People are getting to a point of awakening, asking questions, making some changes. It's necessary. We're being asked and called to do it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. We have the ability to do these things that we are being called to do. But most of us want to ignore and act like we don't know what's going on. Like we didn't hear nothing. We don't feel nothing. We don't know nothing. Okay. Nothing to ask people. You're going to get what you put in. Nothing. All right. So, yeah. I think that's it for this evening, unless there are any other questions, comments, or concerns. Again, this is just part one. It's going to be a series. So next week, I don't know how deep I'm going to be going or how deep the Most High is going to put me in, but we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. The whole purpose of this and what it has been since I came back, or period, but really since I came back, was to draw God's people back. That's what God is looking for. Where's my family? Where's my tribe at? Go get my family. Those that know me, that know my name, they will answer to my name. Go get them. Okay? It's just like that. So, if you're part of the family, you know, you already know. So I'm gonna ask you for the last time this evening, please, one, if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, is Queen Goddess, Goddess spelled Godis, the King Advocate. And please share this video. Please share, study it, look up what the things that we've talked about. Make sure that I ain't telling you no lies, but I ain't. But look it up for yourself. Stand for yourself. We're being called to do some mighty things, and we're being called to do them because we're capable of doing them. Okay? All right, loved ones, I'm going to let you go. You already know I love you on purpose, with purpose. And until I see you again, peace.